Thank you, Mr Speaker. I just wanted to take a short call on this bill, notwithstanding the importance of it, and I want to acknowledge those who are in the House today who have worked so hard to bring this bill to the Parliament. The Green Party will be supporting this legislation to Select Committee, and we look forward again to hearing at Select Committee those who have supported and worked for this bill, but also from those who might disagree with it, and that they should feel free to bring those issues to the Select Committee. Of course, settlement bills are different from other kinds of legislation because, in effect, the Select Committee has no real power to make amendments to bills, to these bills, because they are the results of negotiations that have been conducted with government. So unless the government and the claimants agree to amendments do not happen. I think in my nearly 10 years here, I've seen only 2 settlements be significantly altered in terms of redress, one of which was the result of negotiations that the Green Party did. It is a difficult thing to have settlement bills change, and I would just ask that members of the House who've been a little critical of the Greens' view acknowledge that this is a different kind of process, and also acknowledge that for those who are missed out or locked out of the settlement process because they, for whatever reason, disagree with legislation, with it, not particularly to the Rongowhakaata bill, but in general. Often these people have made claims to the tribunal. They have fought hard and worked hard and spent a great deal of time and money bringing those claims to the tribunal, only to have the Crown determine that they should be settled not with the people who brought the claims but with someone else. And most settlements have included in them wire claims that are being settled without the consent of those particular claimants. And unlike that is not heard of in any other part of New Zealand law. There is nowhere in New Zealand law where some other agency can come along and take your case and settle it for you. These settlements are not the same as other kinds of processes or negotiations. They're not the same as other pieces of legislation, and it is important that we acknowledge that. With this particular claim, the Rongowhakaata claim, I agree with much of what has been said tonight about the historical implications and the historical harms that were committed, the summary executions of some 300 Rongowhakaata at Ngata, the attacks and the loss of lives at Wairinahikapa, the exile and the illegal imprisonment of more than 100 Rongowhakaata at Wharekaure, at Chatham's, the raupatu of Rongowhakaata lands, leaving them nearly landless in the 20th century, the theft of Te Hau ki Tūranga, because that's what it was, from Ora Kaiapu Pā, and the effect that this had on that hapu. And there have been subsequent breaches through legislation over the many years since that time. This settlement will be able to provide some redress for those, as we've heard, and that is a good thing for Rongowhakaata, that they can have some of that return, particularly Te Hau ki Tūranga. I understand that there may be some issues about the nature of that return that we may well hear in Select Committee, and we welcome any of the views of those involved as to how that is working and how that will operate. The Minister made some commitments around the return of Te Hau ki Tūranga. The details of those commitments matter, and they will matter to the claimants and to those who have an interest in the settlement, and I certainly hope that at Select Committee we get to hear the details of those commitments before we are asked then to support the legislation further, just to make sure that they are firm, that the resources are provided and that the needs of the iwi and hapu are met in the process, rather than it being some kind of flagship for the Crown. So we look forward to seeing this legislation come before us. We look forward to meeting and talking with the claimants and the others who are involved. We know that it has been a significant body of work. Green Party will be supporting this legislation.
The Honourable Anne Tolley.
Speaker, on a more positive note, I want to take a very short call